Mitzie, Addison. I am 77 years old. I had a birthday on March 11th. I married Walter Addison, the joy and love of my life. We had 3 children together. We had Scott. We also have, I think, Heidi, Princess Heidi, the love of our life. And last, we have Roger. Roger is mechanically minded, extremely intelligent with tools and things he can figure out. From those, we also have, I think, Heidi, Princess Heidi, the love of our life. And last, we have Roger. Roger is mechanically minded, extremely intelligent with tools and things he can figure out. From those, Walter and I was married 22 years. He died at 46 of a heart attack. I chose at that time not to remarry. We had a wonderful, wonderful life. We had our home in Conway. We had 2 Lincoln Continentals. We had a cottage at Pymatuming. And my mother and dad lived across the street from us. My children, all 3, have been successful. Then came along our grandchildren. Our girl is Madison, and our boy is Indiana. We call him Indy. His name is Indiana Blaze. No laughter out there. I see all of you laughing at that name. His name is Indiana. Today you can have any name you want. And this is the name that my kids decided for. We decided for all the good Christian names. But that's the way it goes. Indiana and Madison.
And your grandchildren,
That was my great-grandchildren. Grandchildren, I have Jesse, Matthew, Dustin, Denon, Ashley, and Dylan. I'm proud that I have lived to be 77, considering so much has went through my life since Walter died. Walter died and left me these children, home, cottage, cars, and a little bit of money. I didn't think I would ever get through these days with these children, but through my love for them, I did. You're going to see pictures of the books that I wrote to them and how much I loved them. I had a great career, too. I had a 30-year career as a registered professional nurse at Allegheny General Hospital. I was a nurse in the maternity and obstetrical departments. I did C-sections and regular surgery and deliveries and recoveries. I am very, very proud of my career. And my children helped me every bit of the way. I really think that I had a fantastic time from birth until Daddy was 46. After that, I would say it was a little bit hard. Excuse me. It was a little bit tough. When I was in college, I met with someone very famous and well known, Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. She has a signed book on death and dying. If ever you have the opportunity to meet somebody and she's available, do it. But I think that now she has died. But she has left a legacy of information that is doing people like me good. I needed that book then. I need it now. And I will still need it in the future. Before my dad died, he lived in a little cottage across from us in Pymatuning. My father made 35 violins. He handmade them. When I was a little girl, I used to hold the bands while he clamped them down. Most of them are still out and around. They are very good sounding. My daughter said she will buy me a bow, and when she does, I can practice again. But if not, Julie, she teaches in a Jewish school. She is the principal in Pittsburgh, and she's a marvelous person. The only way you can get them all together at once is with the family reunions. And once you get them together, you'll see what I say. They're the greatest in the world. We do have Joe and Carol. After my sister died, Carol has taken over as like another daughter for me. Although nothing could ever replace Heidi. Nothing. I want to just hit on one thing that's important to me. My piano lessons. I started my piano lessons when I was 5 years old. And I didn't quit taking piano lessons until I was 18. I hope to be able to play you a little bit of music later on. My music is very, very valuable to me. Yes.
George Washington.
George Washington gave our 5 great-grandfather a job of being a drummer boy for the military army when he came over from Germany. And he used that legacy of his from Germany to teach drumming and fifing to the other players. So music was in us clear back then, and that came from my dad's side. You have to understand love and life in order to understand music. It is one of the biggest creators of love in the world. Music. Get into music, sing it, dance it, learn it. You'll never regret it. After Daddy died, things changed immensely, as I said. At once, we hit the lottery. I hit the lottery for $110,000. But there were 11 of us that won. So therefore, I got about $10,000 after taxes and everything was cleared. And I asked my children, what do you want to do with this newfound money? And in one voice they said, Disney World. I have a sweater from Disney World. I'd love to show it to you. I wore it for many years, and other people have also worn it. When I brought it home, people found it hard to believe. This sweater was $100 when I bought it in Disney World. And whoever wears it will always be lucky. Always be lucky, just like Minnie Mouse. Oh my, when we went, we drove down to Lorton, Virginia. And how smart we were. That's the laugh. We took 79 pairs of shoes with us. I don't know where Heidi thought we were going for 4 days. But we were carrying shoes out of that car like they were on sale. And they weren't. Believe me, they weren't. We got all those shoes in the bedroom upstairs, and then we couldn't find our own clothes to change in. But again, those kids had a blast. Heidi and Denise had the time of their life. And Jesse and Dustin enjoyed their days. They enjoyed the hotel. They enjoyed the bus or the truck. No, what is it now? Oh, airplane. New invention. They enjoyed the airplane coming down. It was Heidi's second or third time on a plane, but it was Roger's first time. We didn't have all that hassle getting into a plane. But it was a nice ride down. Roger got on, knocked on the pilot's door, and said, "Hi, would you show me how to run this thing?" Of course, he said, "You have to go sit down in your seat and fasten in, and you'll hear us talk, and then we'll be running the plane." He came back to the chair, and he says to Mom and to Heidi, "Keep your mouth shut so I can hear the pilot." That's the kind of kids I had. They were marvelous. They weren't afraid to say anything. I don't think they'd be afraid of the president or God or anything. They're very much interested in life. During my regular days before I became famous, my cousin dated Joan Crawford's son. I don't know if any of you here would remember Joan Crawford. She is the girl that made the first Mildred Pierce. And I see now that Mildred Pierce is going to come out on a video again. Well, Mildred Pierce was a marvelous actress. And she and Sonia got along quite well. But then Sonia and Joan Crawford's son, they broke up. So that was the end of my career in Hollywood with Joan Crawford. But it was real. And we had an association with a big movie star. Oh, I don't know. There seems to be so much to talk about when we travel to Seattle to visit Mount St. Helens. What devastation. What natural devastation. It brought tears to my eyes to see this. But it was worthwhile. Love in Heidi's book is animals. Heidi loves every one of her animals. We have Lucky, our big white lab. We have Lucy. We have Jack. He is something. He is our smart dog. We love him so much. Let me hold Jack.
You want to see this? Calm
Come on, Jack. Come on up here, Jack. Jack, I wouldn't hurt this baby.
There's our Jack. There you go, Jack. He's scared.
Oh. Another little interesting hit if you don't know how to teach your children to count. Just take them to bingo like I did. Our children learn to count. B1, B2. And you hear Dustin in the background saying, "Shut up, Jesse, that's my number." But they truly learned through bingo how to count. When I came, I was an old lady. My hair was straggly. I couldn't eat. You see, I also had a stroke somewhere down there, and when I would eat, it would go off to the side. But she used no special things. She just said, "You're going to learn to eat, and you're going to learn to eat now, and you're going to learn to eat good." That was the end of it. If you take a look down here, those are my toes. Those are the new toes of the 77-year-old woman. No sense in having those old, dirty, yellow, curled up toes. No, get this kind. No. Krista calls it red. I call it red too. They keep me happy. I don't know what they do, but they do. They keep me happy. They fix my pictures for me. They take pictures of me. They help me. You see my makeup job?
Yeah.
This was done by Krista. She is also a beautician, but won't tell anybody because she doesn't want to leave me. I love her to pieces.
Love you too.
I do have 4 books full that I want them to read. It has all kind of advice. It tells them from the day they were born until the day I die. And the book is full of all good information. They have learned to go to funerals without being sad, but being respectful. They have learned to go to different churches without being the only one that can go to that church. My grandchildren have learned a lot from my books and from my legacy and from me. I don't know what else I could tell you verbatim, but I am going to ask my daughter Heidi if she has anything verbatim. Do you have something to tell your mother?
Just said I love you, Mitz.
How much?
To the moon and back.
I love you that much too.
Yeah.
I think you're a wonderful daughter. Okay, I think that's about all I have to say at the moment.